Okay, everybody, so how are we doing today? So after his rather interesting visit to England, oh, you British, Trump has decided to go visit Ireland to tell them that, Brexit's not going to be a disaster, your country's not going to be torn in half, which is certainly looking like it would if they can't figure out an agreement to make that work, that border situation between the North and the South. But, Trump visits there, gives his assurances, basically says he pretty much loves Ireland. And this does not appear necessarily to be a case of him buttering up a potential ally, as he often does. Trump sometimes can be a very shallow man, but overall I think he does a pretty good job as president. For Americans, not so much for foreigners. And he did not get much love in Dublin, but he did get quite a bit of appreciation in a place called Doonbeg. Now, in Doonbeg, Donald Trump, arriving in Ireland for the first time as U.S. President on Wednesday, sought to reassure the country that Britain's exit from the European Union worked out fine for its near neighbor. Your guys' Prime Minister, that is the Irish Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, used a meeting with Trump, who has been a vocal supporter of Brexit, to underline Ireland's concerns over the departure that could affect it more than any other country remaining in the 28-member bloc. That's a very smart maneuver, actually, getting those issues known. A surprising number of people are quite ignorant over the Irish situation on that. So, round of applause for Leo there. How to keep EU member Ireland's currently seamless 500-kilometer, 350-mile border with Northern Ireland open after Brexit and ensure it does not jeopardize 2 decades of peace in the British province is proving the most intractable issue in Britain's tortuous effort to leave the EU. I'd almost said torturous. Well, I suppose you could say it is a bit torturous. But, Trump just says, oh, it'll work out very well. Brexit will work out very well for Ireland. Really? A lack of fine detail is always suspicious. I think Trump is more worried about it than he wants to let people think. But Trump also told Varadkar the problem with your wall, your border, was similar to the border situation in the United States. Before the Irish Prime Minister jumped in to say, the main thing Dublin wanted to avoid was a border wall between both sides. Some 3,600 people were killed during Northern Ireland's troubles. A sectarian conflict between mainly Protestant Unionists who want Northern Ireland to remain part of the United Kingdom and predominantly Catholic Irish nationalists. The 1998 Good Friday peace deal, which the United States helped broker, largely ended the violence. Now, while Trump on Tuesday promised Britain a phenomenal post-Brexit trade deal, phenomenal, it's one of his favorite words now. It's almost like Trump is just a series of catchphrases at this point. Phenomenal, huge, big. But U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi used a visit to both sides of the Irish border last month to warn that her fellow lawmakers would not agree to any such deal if Brexit ends up undermining peace in Ireland. After he and Trump met, Varadkar said the president understood Brexit cannot result in the return of a hard border on the island. Yet the timing of their meeting was important, as Trump would have heard a certain story from pro-Brexit lawmakers during the first stop-off of his European trip in Britain. A certain story. What exactly does that mean? Are you saying that pro-Brexit people are going to spin him a line? I'm pretty sure Trump is so good at spinning a line or two himself that he'd be pretty much immune to it by this point. But anyway, he wants to keep that border open and believes that that can be done. We didn't go into any particular details as to how he thinks that can be done, but he understands that it has to be a shared objective, Varadkar said. Trump said in his remarks that Ireland and the United States have a great relationship, as good as it's been. Varadkar posted a picture on Twitter of a guest book the President First Lady, Melania Trump, had signed that included the message, "I love your country." The word love was underlined. Varadkar, who had opposed extending an invitation to Trump as a cabinet minister for changing his mind when he took over as prime minister in 2017, met Trump on the tarmac and said it was a great pleasure to welcome him to Ireland. This was a relatively low-key visit compared to the British visit. The number of demonstrators who were at a peace camp only ranged in around 200. A relatively small crowd for this sort of thing. As I said earlier, he was poorly received in Dublin, but when he went to Doonbeg, it was a very different story. In fact, one guy said, "There are a lot of fans around here because of the employment, because of the hotel. From now on, it is going to be famous." A particular hotel that Trump purchased in the area basically catered to local employment, actually gave the town a lot of jobs. Trump's all about making jobs, actually. He doesn't give people money, but he does give people opportunities to make money of their own. And he has created a lot of opportunities in his time. And he will probably continue to do so well into his second term if he gets one. Really, the Trump lovers in Doonbeg have more reason to love Trump than the Trump haters in Dublin have to hate Trump, I imagine. It's probably a lot of garbage and rhetoric in a big city like Dublin, where there's a lot more political influence. Doonbeg strikes me as a place that's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, come on, there's even the word beg in the name. And I assume dune because it's out in the desert. No, just kidding. That's stupid. You guys probably don't have deserts anyway. I'm just being funny. But Trump, who took part on Wednesday in events in southern England marking the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy, will base himself at the hotel overlooking the Atlantic Ocean for 2 nights. He'll make a day trip from the hotel to France on Thursday for a D-Day commemoration there, before taking in a round of golf and returning to Washington on Friday. So, this seems all well and good, but he says that Brexit will go well for Ireland. He gives that guarantee, but provides no fine detail. In my opinion, that means one of two things. Either A, he's more worried about it than he wants people to think. B, he's confident that the border issue can be resolved peacefully. Or C, he has an actual plan. Best case scenario is C. Okay scenario is B. But worst case scenario is definitely A. I would hate to see Ireland literally just cut in half like that and have like a war between the North and South, where Protestants and Catholics start killing each other. That would be terrible. And what is it about Christianity that seems to just divide people? I always find that rather odd. If it's supposed to be all about peace and love, then why does it divide people like this? It's crazy. And I know what some people in my family say is like, Christianity doesn't divide people, people divide people. People don't just do things without motivation. They have to have motivation. It's not like guns. Yes, guns kill people is illogical. Christianity dividing people is not illogical, because it's an emotional thing that provides motivation for a certain type of behavior. A gun is not. A gun is a weapon and a tool. Anyway, sorry I got into that little, spiel. Point is, if scenarios B and C are your best shot. But sounds to me like Trump isn't so bad. The Irish apparently love him. Hell, some guy called Paul Markham said Donald Trump is a great man. Anyway.